Well, here you are, you need to find your water line. You're going to put in a fence, you're going to dig a ditch, you're going to build a building, you're going to put something in on your property, and you want to make sure that you don't dig into that water line, you don't cut that water line in two, or you don't build, a building or put something on top of your water line. And you want to know where it's at, and that can be difficult to figure out exactly where it actually is. You can get a fairly good idea by looking at your meter and looking at where it goes into your house and kind of eyeing it and getting a straight line and figuring out close where it's at. But sometimes you want to be exact. You want to know where that water line is, because you maybe want to get close, like putting in a fence or putting the fence across, and you don't want to dig into that. Or you might need to find that because you have a big leak and the water is, you can tell kind of where it's at, but you don't know exactly where it's at because the water has leaked so much and it's spread it out so far. I mean, you may have 5 foot on each side of that water line. It's just waterlogged dirt, ground, and you don't know exactly where that water line is. So you need to pinpoint that to find that so you can dig in and fix that leak in that water line. Or like I said, if you're digging the ditch, digging fence post holes, building a building, whatever, you might need to know where that's at. And if you are buying a new property, definitely be sure to ask, where that's at. And if you didn't put it in, you don't know where it's at. So there's a way to tell, and you can use 2 metal rods to tell if you can see that or not. And some people will call this witchcraft, but it's not. Anyone can do this. I've let other people try this with these rods, and all these are metal clothes hangers. And you can see have a small L on the end. And when you put these in your hand and you walk across trying to find that line, you just hold these like this in your hand, and you don't hold them tight, you just hold them loosely. You don't want to grip them like this. You want to just hold them firmly but not tightly, and about so far apart like this right here. Then you just walk, and when you get to that water line, and I'll show you in a minute, they will twist like this right here and cross, and your water line is right there under these. You can find all kinds of lines that way. Now, if it's a gas line, you need to definitely call the gas company, get them to come and check it out. They can find that and show exactly where that is. You definitely don't want to get into that gas line. You don't want to get into your water line either, but the gas line, definitely you call before you dig. But if it's a water line, you want to know where it's at, then you can use this right here to actually find out where that line is without too much trouble. And then, you can dig your hole in the ground, whatever you're building. You may be building a root cellar or something like that. You need to dig, you want to know where that water line is. And like I said, if you put in a building, like this building back here, you don't want that on top of your water line, because you could have a leak. And then how are you going to fix it when that building is on top of your water line? You're going to move the building, you're going to crawl under it, how to dig and fix that water leak that's in that line. Or like I said, if you have that leak and it's all in your yard and you have a big, huge wet spot in your yard, you don't know exactly where it's at. And you want to be able to pinpoint that, because you don't want to dig out, that 5 foot circle trying to find that line. So let's go demonstrate this over here on my water line. I know where it's at because I had it put in new because I had a leak in it and we couldn't find it actually. So that's when I figured out this, little research, and started doing this. And you can definitely find your water line with these. And like I said, it's not witchcraft. Anyone can do this. You don't have to cast a spell. It doesn't have to be, a full moon, nothing like that. It just works for some reason. I don't really know why it works, but it does. These will cross when you cross that water line. It's pretty amazing, actually. Give it a try. Like I said, metal clothes hangers. The plastic won't work. You need the metal ones. Okay, guys, right back here is my actual water line. As you can see, right here is where the line goes. It was dug in here a few years ago, right out of the house here, and we'll take these here, and I'll walk across that, and I'll show you how this actually works. You hold these out in front like so. Don't hold them tight, like I said, just let them go like this. Then you walk slowly. When you get over that water line, you can see they actually start to turn. And you turn on their own, and right there's the water line. You can see right there it is, straight with it, both sides, both ways, straight with that water line. Works every single time. So we'll go here. I'll put this camera right on top of the water line right through here. So I will step over here. you can see the camera follows. This little DJI Pocket 3 camera will follow. But the camera's right on top of the line right there. So here, we hold these like this, and we walk slowly. Don't want to walk quickly, just want to walk slowly. You can watch both crisscross right across each other. You can see right there. It's amazing how that works. Both of them right there, cross every time. It actually will work inside the house, actually. If you have a water line under your floor, like I do in my basement, I can do the same thing with these and find that water line where it runs under the floor. It works every single time. We'll try it over this way. Now, every single time, and I can do it here. I've done it at my mom's. Don't know if it works on the gas line or not. The gas line actually comes through here somewhere. We'll move this camera over here and I'll try to see if I can find the gas line with this. I've not tried that yet. But we'll move the camera over and the gas line goes through there into the meter. I know approximately where that gas line is at because I hear when they put it in, but after a few years, it kind of fuzzy exactly where it's at. But we'll try this now with the gas line and see if it works. There it is, gas line. It sure was. There's the gas line. So it works on gas lines too. I didn't know that. Learned something new. Works on gas lines also. Right through here is where the gas line goes. So it works on gas lines and water lines, but still yet you want to call the gas company to make sure that you know where it's at, because you don't want to dig into that. You make sure you don't do that at all. Call the gas company. They'll come look at it. They will put little flags up and they'll mark it and you can dig safely that way. Anyway, hope you learned something in the video. Hope it helps. And, you know, your dad's gonna need this, and it definitely works. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bug. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully.